welcome back to Kickalodian, the only father and son Air Jordan 1 YouTube channel. I'm Scott, it's my son Jackie.
Today we want to talk about how you can buy these shoes, okay? Because they're heavily hyped and you're not going to be able to walk into every store that you want to find these beautiful shoes, really.
Yeah, Jack's trying to educate me. I'm 47 years old. I'll be 48 this year, and he's trying to teach me what's a hype beast and all. And I don't know about all these things. I know about what an Air Jordan 1 looks like because I've been drawing them and wearing them since I was in the 6th grade back in 1985. So we have been learning, though. These things are not the easiest thing to obtain. Tell the fans a little bit about what they need to do if they're going to get the latest release.
Now, finding your favorite shoes is nothing different than actually your normal life. Your phone is your best friend, so there are plenty of apps you can install, such as Nike's sneaker app for the latest drops, or eBay, or GOAT, or Foot Locker. You can find your latest drops on there too, or just going to the store, but that's a little bit of a risk.
This is something that Jack and I do. One of our hobbies, we call it, do you want to check Jordans? Hey, do you want to go check Jordans? Okay, well what that means is a very quick trip, a brisk walk through our local mall where we hit the 4 or 5 stores that actually sell Air Jordans. With these stores, it depends on where you live. For instance, we live in the Little Rock, Arkansas area. We have went on vacations, trips out of state, thinking, man, that's a big old city. They probably got big old malls and big old stores full of Air Jordans. And it does not work out like that.
No.
Give you a couple examples. We went to Atlanta earlier this year, walked through the biggest mall in Atlanta, counted 27 people wearing Air Jordan 1s, and not a single store had a pair in stock.
Nope.
The other thing we discovered, a friend of mine manages the Champs here in Central Arkansas. He was offered the chance to be the manager of the store in Nashville, Tennessee, which is a huge store, a huge mall. He turned it down because that particular mall doesn't allow any of those stores inside of it to sell retro Air Jordans. They don't want to deal with the crowds. They don't want to deal with the arguments over the pairs. And so he actually turned the job down because he's a collector just like we are. And, I guess one of the perks of working at a shoe store is when a shoe releases, you got a pretty good chance of getting your size. Take it out, take it out of the stock and just come in, put it to the side and pay for it later. And he didn't want to lose that perk of working for that store. So he remained in Little Rock where our malls do get the retro shoes. Of course, online is your friend. A lot of these pairs behind us have come from eBay, but there are other sources. Down from eBay, I'm going to go recommending Mercari.
Yeah.
People have heard of Mercari. Now the thing you got to watch for there, Mercari is a lot newer than eBay, so a lot of your sellers don't have any feedback. And actually there's a pair right here behind Jack. These are really cool. I love all the tropical Air Jordans. But the lady had no feedback, kind of had an interchange with her and waited for her to sell and ship a pair to someone else. And as soon as she got 5 stars off of that, I bought the shoes from her. So if you just kind of wait a little bit and kind of be careful, Marketplace on Facebook is becoming flooded with Air Jordans. But there's a lot of fakes on there.
Yeah.
Facebook does not have this whole authenticity guarantee like eBay does, where the seller ships the shoes to SneakerCon, the folks that do all the events. Their experts verify the shoe and then they ship the shoe to you. Of all these shoes you see, and there's a lot of shoes here that you don't see, I've only ever had one pair that eBay could not authenticate and actually returned my money and sent the shoes back to the seller. That's only happened once. Now with Marketplace, you don't get that luxury. You're kind of on your own out there, and if you look closely on Marketplace, a lot of times somebody might have a good rating based on they respond to questions quickly or whatever. but not necessarily. You got to look at another place and see, has this person ever actually shipped anything to anybody? That's kind of important to know. And if a deal sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If you're looking at Air Jordan 1s and they're $98 brand new in the box, probably not the real deal.
And you have payers protection on Facebook, which I haven't bought anything on there. I don't personally know how they handle that, but you don't have an authenticity thing like you do with StockX or eBay.
Yeah, and the other thing is, in order for that payer protection to work on Facebook Marketplace, because I have bought pairs off there before, if they get into wanting you to pay them through PayPal or wanting you to pay them through Messenger, and you don't get into that. If you're going to buy it from them, use the buy now on their ad, or I guarantee you do not get in all those built-in protections that you wish you had gotten. So there's a few places you can look for Air Jordans.
That also applies to eBay, by the way.
What about apps, Jack?
Well, I personally like the Sneakers app. They've recently changed how it works with the launch of the UNC Jordan 1 high tops on their app. It was originally, they would give you a set time, say 9 a.m. Central Time, and they would drop these shoes, and then you had to get that stock immediately. You had to get your size, and then you would have to wait and see if you got them or not, because they would get so much traffic on their website at one time. But they've recently changed this to where you have a draw, 10 minutes to enter, and then they randomly select who won the shoes. But this is a controversial change. People who are there right as soon as it drops, or 10 minutes later, they have the same chance to get the shoes. And this bothers a lot of people because it's been the way that you have to wait around until that time and you have to be quick enough. It's been that way so long, but recent change, and I've not won anything from it. I've entered a lot of times, a lot of draws to win some shoes, and you haven't either.
I've never won.
So,
we got turned down to buy the Hyper Royals, the new ones. Both of us turned down. I wasn't going to work out in it. I walk in and there's one pair left on the shelf at one of our local stores. I mean, how's that work?
I don't know. I haven't seen hardly any high tops in stores, and don't expect that to be any different for your city, personally.
No. So, maybe we covered something you hadn't really thought about, buying Air Jordans online and where to get these Air Jordans. I'm Scott. It's my son Jack. We're the only father and son Air Jordan show on YouTube. Hopefully you'll like and subscribe. We'll see you next time on Kickalodian.